In 1992, Abbas al-Musawi, who was then the Hezbollah chief, was assassinated in an Israeli airstrike. The man who then came to the fore to lead the group was his protege Hassan Nasrallah. He had been there nearly ever since the formation of Hezbollah 10 years earlier after Israel's invasion of Lebanon. While many had then thought that it was the end of Hezbollah, the opposite turned out to be true. Nasrallah led Hezbollah for over 3 decades, and under him it became one of the most heavily armed non-state military forces in the world. Hezbollah even participated in Lebanon's national elections since 1992, and it wields political power. The group is equipped and funded by Iran and is a major part of the so-called axis of resistance against Israel and the United States. In fact, Hezbollah is Iran's most experienced ally in the region. Iran's supreme leader reportedly considered Nasrallah a son, and he was important to the relationship between Iran and Hezbollah because there's no one else in the group who Iran places as much faith in. Which is why Israel had been trying to eliminate him for decades. They tried even in 2006 when there was an all-out war between Hezbollah and Israel after some cross-border strikes. Ever since then, he'd been on Israel's radar. By the afternoon of 28 September, Nasrallah was confirmed killed in Israel's Beirut airstrikes. This was Israel's highest-profile assassination yet.
אזרחי ישראל, אלה ימים גדולים. אנחנו במה שנראה כנקודת מפנה היסטורית.
Now, how will this event change the equations in the Middle East? First, let's begin with how and when did Israel's war with Hamas turn into Israel's war with Hezbollah and Lebanon? Basically, after Hamas attacked Israel on 7th October 2023, Hezbollah joined in the war in solidarity with the Palestinians. Nasrallah thought he could sustain a limited border conflict. But on 27 July 2024, a Hezbollah rocket which was aimed at an Israeli military base overshot its target and killed 12 children on a football pitch. Here on, Israel's lens shifted to Lebanon. Their operations in Gaza were winding down, and Netanyahu seized the opportunity. In the next 3 days, on 30th July, Hezbollah's military chief Fuad Shukr was dead. The following day, Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh was killed in Iran. And then came Israel's barrage of attacks in September, 12 days of attacks which have transformed this bloody conflict. It started with 17 September when thousands of pagers of Hezbollah members exploded across Lebanon. The next day, there was a fresh wave of electronic devices exploding like walkie-talkies, crippling some key communication lines of Hezbollah leaders, killing 39 people, wounding hundreds. Since then, Israel has been relentlessly striking parts of Lebanon, targeting Hezbollah's equipment. Hezbollah was also striking back, with the two exchanging fire through the days and nights. On 20th September, at least 16 members, including 2 of Hezbollah's top military commanders, were killed in an Israeli airstrike. On 26 September, Hezbollah's Air Force commander was killed. And even as the attacks and counterattacks continued, on 28th, Israel's biggest target, Nasrallah, had been killed. Now the big question is, what happens next? Well, for Iran, they need to figure out their next course of action. Considering that their most powerful militia is being decapitated, most experts believe that they are unlikely to directly engage with Israel. Iran has long relied on proxy regional militant groups, knowing that they lack conventional firepower. For Hezbollah, while it's been a major blow, they are not going to disappear. Though a lot of their leadership is gone and their communication lines are compromised, they still do have thousands of armed fighters, an arsenal of long-range missiles, and political support. But the structure of the group is, of course, going to change now. For Gaza, though Hamas has lost an ally, Israel seems to be fighting that war separately. For Israel, Netanyahu has underlined their goal that Hezbollah should be pushed back north of the Litani River and Israeli residents in northern communities must return, which for years has been the subject of contentious negotiations. Israel's all-out airstrikes in Beirut illustrate just how serious Netanyahu is about this goal.
ולמשטר האייתולות אני אומר, מי שיכה בנו, אנחנו נכה בו. אין מקום באיראן או במזרח התיכון שהזרוע הארוכה של ישראל לא תגיע אליו. והיום אתם כבר יודעים כמה זה נכון.
The policy, as far as I understand, of the axis of resistance is death by 1,000 cuts. And the apartheid regime will be worn down. We see the economy floundering. We see the military unable to even take Gaza. If they try to enter Lebanon, I have no doubt that they will be badly battered. The United States and the Europeans can do all they want to support this genocidal regime, but they are also in trouble. They are rapidly on the decline. This is something that you know as well as I. The war in Ukraine has weakened Europe significantly, and the Israeli regime is dependent on Europe and the United States to sustain itself. As I said, it's not an inherently strong regime. So I think that the Israelis will, no matter how much they escalate and no matter how many crimes they commit, they're only creating greater hatred across the world, especially across the global south, towards themselves, and they are weakening their position. And in future, no one is going to ever invest in this regime again. I think many of the elites will gradually, and there are signs that many are, leave Palestine.
How it all pans out is something the whole world is watching out for. Hope you found this video informative. For more such content, keep watching Mint.